there's an MVP voter that said he refuses to vote Aaron Rodgers because of his personal opinion on outside of football. You call them a bad guy and the biggest jerk of the league. And Carter and I were talking about this off air, and we were like, why does this dude have a vote?
I mean, after this, he definitely shouldn't.
Yeah,
regardless of what you think of Rodgers off the field, that should not matter literally at all.
That's what it's about. It's most valuable player
for this award. Like, if he earns it on the field, that's all that should matter.
It's not most valuable personality.
Well, that's what kept Terrell Owens out of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, like
true.
He ended up getting into it eventually, but he didn't even want to go in because he's like, they screwed him over for that.
I don't blame him.
And you think, I mean, this guy came out and said it, but how many more are thinking this and just won't say it?
Yeah. I mean, I think people are saying they're like, Aaron Rodgers deserves it at this point, but I think Jonathan Taylor might win it just because of Aaron Rodgers' political stuff that he did this year.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, man. And let's just quickly run through our NFL award races here. Carter, do you want to start?
All right. For the MVP, my top 3 right now is going to be Rodgers at 1, Kupp at 2, and Jonathan Taylor at 3. I think that to be the MVP, you have to do something historical, do something that we've never seen or something insane. And Cooper Kupp is doing exactly that. So that's why I have him so high.
For me, I have Aaron Rodgers, Jonathan Taylor, and Tom Brady. I put Tom Brady in there because, I mean, he's still playing pretty great with no receivers or anything out or playing for him. So I just put him in at the last spot. I don't think he's going to win it, though.
Okay, and then for mine, it's pretty standard. I have Rodgers at 1, Jonathan Taylor at 2, and Cooper Kupp at 3. All 3 of them are having phenomenal years.
Mm-hmm. And then on to Defensive Player of the Year.
This is kind of a one-man race, it feels like, but
yep.
I got TJ Watt at 1. It would be absolutely ridiculous if he doesn't win it. And then I have Aaron Donald at 2 because I still think he's firmly in the conversation for best player in the world. And then I have Nick Bosa at 3 because he's just been wreaking havoc every week and on a reconstructed ACL at that.
Yeah, and then for me, I have TJ Watt. He's unanimous, my opinion. Aaron Donald is number 2. He's always been pretty great. And I put Micah Parsons over here because I feel like he has a little bit better stats than Myles Garrett, in my opinion, as I see Gabe's changing Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald. But Myles Garrett, his stats look a little bit worse than Micah Parsons, in my opinion. And I put him at that 3rd. But I think TJ Watt's running away with it.
The awards take stats into heavy consideration. So,
yep.
Well, okay. So Myles Garrett. Well, okay. I should start with number 1. TJ Watt's obviously winning this award. I have Myles Garrett at 2 and Aaron Donald at 3. Now, what I'm surprised about is not seeing Myles Garrett higher on your guys' lists because he's top 3 in QB knockdowns. He's top 3 in sacks, and he's still leading the league in QB pressures.
He's actually not top 3 in sacks anymore, I don't think.
He's tied for 3rd with Nick Bosa at 15.
Is he?
Yeah. And he's also leading in quarterback pressures. I think he's top 10 in quarterback hurries. I mean, these stats are still pretty important. I know the past few weeks haven't been as awesome for Garrett, but I still think he deserves that recognition. And then Aaron Donald, I mean, it's tough to get good stats when you're getting double teamed or even sometimes triple teamed, but he still needs to get that recognition as well.
Just the thing of like what you said about Garrett, the awards are a very much like, what have you done for me lately type of thing. And Myles Garrett having his worst stretch of the season at this point in the year is just really bad for his hopes for getting votes for something like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And then on to Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I kind of agree with Adam's list here, but I decided to fill it out anyway. Jamar Chase at 1, Najee Harris at 2, and I put Mac Jones at 3, but only because this guy wasn't starting all year.
Yep. And yeah, as Carter mentioned, I think my list, I'm sad that we couldn't have 5 spots here, but I put Jamar Chase at 1, a dude named Jamar Chase at number 2, and then the Bengals rookie receiver at 3,
There you
Jamar
go.
Chase. And yeah, so Jamar Chase.
Mine was kind of similar. I did have Jamar Chase at number 1.
Whoa.
Yeah, what? I had Najee Harris at number 2, and as a Ravens fan, it does not make me happy that the top 2 guys are in that division.
Just like you had him in the last award too.
Yeah, well, and then I put Jalen Waddle at 3. He's probably going to hit 1,000 yards this year, and I didn't know he had 99 receptions.
Yeah,
that's kind of impressive,
under the
actually.
radar.
He's been a catch monster.
Yeah, no, Waddle's been great this year, and I thought he'd probably have more injury issues, but for the most part, he's been able to stay on the field. So,
he also has one of the best signature celebrations.
He does.
Yep. Then he waddled away. Waddle.
All right. For defensive rookie of the year, I got obviously Micah Parsons at 1. At 2, I put Patrick Surtain, and at 3, I had Nick Bolton from the Chiefs.
Yep. And similar to my offensive rookie of the year award, I thought it would be very hard to fill in these 3 spots because it's wide open. So I put at number 1, Micah Parsons. At number 2, the linebacker from the Cowboys, Micah Parsons. And at number 3, I also put Micah Parsons. So there we go.
You got defensive end Micah Parsons, linebacker Micah
Parsons, and then safety Micah Parsons.
Safety Micah
He didn't even
Parsons.
play Micah safety this year, but he could. If he played safety, he'd be 3.
I'd like to appreciate Carter's Nick Bolton pick. He doesn't exactly have the stats for it, and he's missed a couple of games. But if you watch the games, Nick Bolton's making an impact on almost every play.
I think he's got some solid stuff. I think he's over 100 tackles already.
Wait, seriously?
I
Okay.
think
Well,
so.
I know he did miss some games.
Either way, he flashes more watching it than in the box score.
Totally. And I didn't put him on my top 3 for defensive rookie of the year. I have Micah Parsons 1. I have a future Pro Bowler, Odafe Owe, for the Ravens at 2. He's cooled off a little bit as of late as well. And then Patrick Surtain at 3. I like that list.
Odafe Owe.
You don't know him?
I have no.
He's been solid for the Ravens. He was really hot earlier in the season.
I don't even know what he plays.
He plays defensive end, and sometimes we play him at middle linebacker and drop him into coverage for some reason. But I mean, he ran a 4.37 in college, so that might be part of the reason why. But he's pretty versatile.
Oh, that's interesting. Comeback player of the year.
All right. At 1, I got Joe Burrow. 2, I got Dak Prescott, and 3, I have Nick Bosa. I mean, we all have the same top 3 here.
Mm-hmm. Do we? Oh yeah.
Not in order,
Wait,
but I think it's pretty obvious. It's
I was like, wait, what? Yeah. For me, I have Joe Burrow. I mean, I think Joe Burrow is going to win this. I genuinely still think Dak Prescott's probably going to win it because there's a majority of Cowboys fans out there and Cowboys haters, but I think he's probably going to win it. Joe Burrow's been playing lights out, but I put him at number 1. Nick Bosa at number 2. And Dak Prescott, I think he's been playing pretty horribly over the last stretch. So I put him at 3, but I probably think he's going to win it.
Well, and then I have Burrow at 1, Prescott at 2, Nick Bosa at 3. I guess we should also throw in Carson Wentz in this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, he's been decent, but like not compared to Joe Burrow.
Not with these guys.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But
wait,
yeah, I don't
why
see
are you saying Dak's been horrible lately?
He's been bad.
He played pretty well against Washington.
His past 2 games have been incredible.
He's been pretty bad. He's been the reason I feel like they've been losing. They lost that game.
An accurate 330-4 in the first half, basically against Washington, and then he had
but that's against Washington.
He just had 226-3 against Arizona.
He was bad,
and he's playing.
Stats
well.
don't tell everything there. He looked bad,
and he was playing well.
No, he looked bad. He looked. It was pretty awful. I think he was the reason they lost that game. He looked bad. He looked very bad in my opinion. And he looked pretty bad. They call him Dak and Dunk for a reason. let's just put it that way.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
I gave Dak credit when he was throwing for 400 yards a game, but right now I cannot. Like, he looks bad, and in my opinion, he does not look good. I
I
don't know.
disagree. I think he looks great.
Anyways,
Cowboys hater.
coach of the year. Yeah, I
Coach
am
of
a
the
Cowboys
year.
hater, but I
Uh,
don't. I'm decent with the Ravens, but I don't like Lamar. I'm picky with my quarterbacks, but
By picky, you mean
Anyways.
you like Aaron Rodgers and that's it.
I like other quarterbacks as well. I liked Drew Lock. He
What?
that was a dud. I like Drew Lock. That was a
Dak
miss.
and Lamar suck, but Drew Lock, oh yeah.
Well, I know Drew Lock sucks now, but like before, I was high on him coming out of college. I also really like Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, I love him. I like Deshaun Watson before all the legal issues.
You're a Mahomes
Uh,
hater too.
I mean, I liked Mahomes. I have a jersey of him, but right now I cannot be a fan of Mahomes because he's been playing horrible. I like Josh Allen.
He's not even playing bad either.
He's playing bad. His mechanics are in weird. He's not playing as he should have been. He's not
He's
nearly
playing really-
he's a shell of himself.
No.
Like maybe he set the bar too high this last couple of years, but this year has been a major step back in my opinion. Like
I don't think so.
It's been bad. So I may be a quarterback hater, but I'm also very picky with my quarterbacks. So,
You're a professional quarterback hater.
dude, I feel like I'm right with most of my quarterback picks. Drew Lock was a whiff.
I disagree with most of them.
Yeah, and you're wrong with most of your quarterback picks.
Yeah, all right.
The
Okay.
only one that you may be right about is Trey Lance, and I'll stick with you with that one.
Good. All right. It took a lot for me not to put him in at third at MVP just for fun, but
Trey Lance?
I kept it serious. Okay. Coach of the year. I got Matt LaFleur at 1. I think he officially has the most wins by a coach ever in his first 3 seasons, which is pretty insane. And people forget that the Packers, it's not like he took over the Jets or anything, but the Packers didn't look like this before LaFleur got there. He has been a significant part of this, really renaissance for them. So I think he deserves a lot more credit than he gets. I got Mike Vrabel at 2. What he's managed to do with the Titans with all their injuries is incredible. I consider putting him at 1. I like Mike Vrabel a lot, and I think that if they really manage to hold on to the 1 seed, I think there's a really good chance that he gets it. And at 3, I have Zach Taylor. I still don't know how I fully feel about Zach Taylor, but with the resume of him, winning the AFC North, and no one really expected them to, and that's usually how people get this award, is when you come out of nowhere and do something like this. So I put him in the top 3.
Yeah, for me, this isn't bias. It could sound biased, but it's not. And I would be genuine if I would make a sarcastic joke, but Matt LaFleur has had 13-3 for the last 3 seasons as a coach. He literally this game. So if they lose this game, it would be 13-4. But if they would have ended the season right now, he'd be 13-3 for the last 3 consecutive seasons. And the Packers had 2 playoff misses with Aaron Rodgers before he even got there. The Packers run game was non-existent. And all of a sudden he came in, makes Aaron Rodgers look great again. And then he makes the run game show up, and he's been great. And I don't even know how he's gone 13-3 for the last 3 seasons and then hasn't won the award yet.
The difference between LaFleur and McCarthy is very significant. It makes you wonder what the Cowboys could do with a good coach.
Exactly.
Plus, he has a fresh cut every single game.
That's true. He looks clean on the sidelines out there.
Crisp. Hide your wives.
But so does your next guy.
Coming in.
So does your next guy, though.
Yep. We come from crisp cut and looking great on game days to a dude that wears holes in his sweatshirt every game. We got Bill Belichick. I'm pretty sure there's some snot wipes on some of his sleeves too that he wears for these games. He doesn't look good, but I'm putting him at 2nd. Billy B, Bill Belichick. the man that looks horrible, looks like a witch every single game. But yeah, I put him at number 2 because he had one rebuild year, one down year, and then all of a sudden he's back. Like he's back to, I mean, he's not like the greatest team in my opinion in the AFC, but like he's been pretty impressive in my opinion.
He's done a great
And
job of working with what he has too.
yeah,
He's doing the right thing with just the ground and pound approach and just making Mac make the throws that he knows he can make, and defense has been playing lights out.
And if this was a list of just best coaches, I mean, Belichick would top the list for all of us, I think. But
yep.
Coach of the Year is very narrative driven, and they want to give it to different people each year. If it was just who was the best coach, it'd be Belichick, Reed, and Tomlin every year, honestly.
Yep. And also put in Matt LaFleur there. I feel
I mean,
like
Harbaugh's
I feel
better
like
than
he's-
Tomlin, but
Nah, Tomlin better. Jim Harbaugh?
no.
Come back.
Did you hear, did you hear Jim Harbaugh might be is considering the Raiders job?
I don't buy it. I don't buy
it?
I think there's no way. There every single year since really he got to the 49ers, there's been rumors of him going this place or going another place, and it's continued when he's been at Michigan. Why would he leave? Like, they love him there. He just finally beat Ohio State. They made the playoff. He's not going to get more money in the NFL, I don't think.
Maybe
I
just a
don't
new
know.
challenge.
I don't know what. Well, he hasn't really completed this challenge yet, has he? Like,
Yeah, I mean, that's the
I
one
don't.
argument.
I don't think there's any reason for him to leave. As much as I love him and would love to see him back in the NFL, I think that he's going to stay, and I think that he should stay.
Mhm. But yes, and then at number 3, I got Mike Vrabel. He's been insane this year. Like he's as tough as nails. He's probably the toughest coach. That's the biggest balls of any coach here. Like he's been great.
All right. So I guess I have the unpopular opinion, kind of going back to what Carter says. This is coach of the year. So LaFleur has had, well, an historic 3-year stretch, but it is coach of the year. It is just for this year. And what I will say is that I think Zach Taylor deserves to win it, which is kind of weird to say. I know I've never been public
With the
about
Cincinnati
it.
hat on.
Yeah. Hey, that's why I'm wearing it.
You're wearing it because of that's the reason you bought the hat.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I'm gonna buy
Zach
a Cincinnati Reds hat because of the Cincinnati Bengals coach, Zach Taylor.
That's up to me.
I've been very critical of Zach Taylor over the years. He still had some Carson nodding his head in agreement. He still had some issues this year, but from where he's taken the Bengals from last year to this year is insane. And that Jamar Chase pick is looking a lot better now than it did at draft day. I thought for sure they should have gone with Sewell. I know a lot of other people thought that as well. Sewell's going to be great, but Jamar Chase just completely changes this team. The defense has been playing a lot better. The Bengals have been playing a lot more consistent as of late as well. So that's why I would pick him as my number 1 vote for coach of the year. At 2, I have Mike Vrabel. The fact that he's getting this running game done with Dontrell Hilliard and Deonta Foreman just speaks so much about how great of a coach he is. Like, that's such a downgrade from Henry to those
Not
guys.
to mention not having his receiving weapons for half of the games too.
Right.
He was getting it done with Westbrook, Akeen, and Chester Rogers.
Yeah, and Tannehill's taken a step back a little bit too. The defense has stepped up as well, especially in this past game, 34-3 against the Dolphins. And at 3, we have Matt LaFleur. I feel like it would be a crime not to put him in the top 3 at least. He's been a phenomenal coach over the past 3 years. He is probably a top 3 head coach for just that stretch. And I also wanted to give an honorable mention to John Harbaugh. I think if he would have made the playoffs with that team, he should have been up there with Mike Vrabel. But the fact that he's not even going to make the playoffs, there's been a ton of key guys out, but I don't think that's enough to warrant a top 3 vote for me.
I mean, the situation with Harbaugh this year is exactly what, I mean, I don't know if you remember, we talked about it all the time last year, how I was saying, if the 49ers make the playoffs, Shanahan deserves coach of the year last year, just through all the injuries and stuff. And I think that's a good argument for Harbaugh. If by some miracle, if the Jags beat the Colts, the Ravens win, and all that stuff happens, I mean, give it to him. Why not?
Oh yeah, we were talking about this off air while we were waiting for you. So we were like, would
Wrong
you
time zone, sorry.
Yeah, we were waiting here for an hour, and we're like, oh, did Carter fall asleep or something? Or But,
I never woke up because I set my alarm for 10:15 Pacific.